Here are 5 big mistakes to avoid when applying to the UT MSCSO program. The first is not putting enough effort on the statement of purpose. I spent a good amount of time on this, making sure that I said what I really wanted to say in an interesting way, concisely. Keep in mind that someone is going to read these, so you don't want to give something boring. It doesn't have to be a story, it doesn't have to be a big novel, but you do want to give something that talks about your background and your interests in a really effective way, highlights your strengths, and keeps it short and compelling. Mistake number 2 to avoid is not having all 6 prerequisite courses on your profile. If you don't have all 6, you're not going to get into the program. It's a hard requirement. And you want to make sure that you really clarify how you meet those 6 requirements on your CV as well. Third mistake to avoid for sure is if you have a weaker aspect of your profile, supplementing that with some strong letters of recommendation. Keep in mind that the average GPA of admitted students is 3.7, and there are other factors that make the average applicant, or really the average matriculant, a competitive person. So you do want to make sure that if you have an area maybe that's a little bit weaker, maybe you have a 3.4 GPA, for example, that you can try to supplement that with a strong letter of recommendation. On the flip side, mistake number 4 to avoid, if you have a strong application, do not be modest. This is not the time to say, oh, I think I'm okay. Like, really bring out the strengths. Of course, don't be so braggy, don't have too much hubris, but don't, on the flip side, be too modest and be unconfident about your ability to succeed. Make sure that you highlight your strengths effectively. And honestly, if you've done some really cool things, say those. And again, you don't have to brag about it like, oh, I'm the best of the best. But make sure that you don't undersell the cool things you've done. And then mistake 5 to avoid is not having a really good reason for doing the MSCSO. Of course, it's a relatively inexpensive program. It's a really good option for people who want to get some high-level computer science, really good knowledge about becoming a computer scientist at UT Austin. That said, you could do a lot of things with $10,000. So why do you really want to do this? If you don't have a good reason, probably not worth pursuing. Hope that's helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.